Pied Piper of R&B, y'all.
Step in the name of love. Woo. Step in the name that a woman's made of. I pull out my Beretta. He walks up to the closet.
Do you like teenage girls?
When you say teenage, how are we talking?
So before I give my thoughts on the documentary, I wanted to talk a little bit about the nickname R. Kelly gave himself. He calls himself the Pied Piper of R&B. Now, a lot of people overlook the nickname he gave himself, and to be honest, I didn't know what it meant until I looked up the origin. It's pretty disturbing. So the Pied Piper is a German tale about a man who would lure kids away, and it correlates to how he uses his musical talents to take advantage of young impressionable girls. So this is Craig Williams, who is a music producer and executive. He met R. Kelly in the late 80s, and he used to work with him back in the day. He, however, claimed that in the documentary he never was a part of his inner circle, but he would see underage girls in the studio, and that was my problem. The amount of adults that turned a blind eye, they knew what was going on, yet kept their mouths shut. And it's like, for what? Like, because your pockets are being lined? And it's just really like a sad story. And even like R. Kelly's old manager, his assistant, even helped with forging documents when it came to that whole marriage situation with Aaliyah. I'm gonna get into that later on in the video. This is Sparkle. She's a singer, and she was one of R. Kelly's former backup singers back in the day. They have a song together called Be Careful. Here's a clip right here.
Down on you. You better be careful what you do to me. 'Cause somebody.
So Sparkle was also the aunt of the 14-year-old in the infamous sextape back in 2002. You know, the piss tape. And although she testified against R. Kelly along with other witnesses, including her niece's basketball teammate, who confirmed it was her on the tape, R. Kelly was acquitted on all charges. He was found not guilty. And that's just crazy. Like, the evidence was there, and it was concrete evidence that it was him.
My niece on the 26-minute tape.
So your niece...
Yes, that's my niece.
Explain this to our viewers.
Yes, my niece is on a 26-minute tape with R. Kelly, and he's having sexual relations.
Yes. And of course, we're talking about the infamous tape that he went to trial for, that he was acquitted. You were the key witness for the prosecution.
Yes.
You went on stand and said, that is definitely my niece in the tape.
You know what?
So one thing that Sparkle said during the documentary that I didn't really like was when she said she didn't think R. Kelly would do anything to her niece because they were good friends. So it just came off the wrong way, because she heard all these allegations about him harming these young girls and sexually abusing them, and it just came off as, oh, because we're buddy-buddy, I don't care that, like, you know, he's doing it to other people, but as long as it's not my own family, I don't care, you know? It just came off the wrong way, but I commend her for testifying against him. I feel like Sparkle shouldn't have let her niece being unsupervised alone in the studio fly, because if it was my niece and she hit me with a, oh, I just got dropped off, that wouldn't have fly. Ain't no, oh, I just got dropped off. No, girl, you're packing up your stuff and I'm taking you back home to your mother. This is R.kelly. He is R. Kelly's younger brother. R. Kelly also has an older brother, Bruce Kelly. And R. Kelly even went as far as trying to pay his brother to lie and say it was him on the tape for $100,000. Which I found comical, because literally you can tell them apart. They look nothing alike. They're distinguishable. And it's just ridiculous. Okay, so tell me why Carrie came out with a diss track against his brother. He was using this situation to jumpstart his music career. It's just crazy.
Your fans hear this, they gon' push repeat. You see me, you get scared, you call police. You throw rocks, hide your head cause you got cheese. You gave them females some crazy disease.
Oh my god, this was a mess. Just, whoo, child, the ghetto. Just ratchet. Yo, like the YouTube comments under this song were better than the actual song, to be honest. It was just hilarious what people were saying. This is Bruce Kelly. This is the older brother, and throughout the documentary, he was just saying utter nonsense, just stupid shit. So he went on to say that his brother should have took the bribe money, the $100,000, and said he could have been rich. He doesn't understand why his younger brother didn't take the money. Now, like, no amount of money is worth your pride and dignity and morals. Especially, it's not worth your reputation being tarnished, being known as a pedophile. No amount of money is worth any of that. And I can tell that Bruce went to jail for doing some dumb shit. That's probably why he has a missing tooth and he's sporting that XXX jumpsuit. Because throughout the documentary, he was just spewing utter nonsense. So Bruce even went as far as to justify his brother's actions, and he said he saw no problem with R. Kelly, his brother, pursuing these young girls. He even said that being into young girls is a preference. Like, no sir, that's pedophilia.
Robert likes younger women. You have people who have fantasies about different things. I like older women. Go figure, you know? But that's just a preference. It's a preference. Everyone has preferences. So, what is the big deal? What's the big issue with my brother?
Honestly, he obviously has some loose screws up there. The man is off, and I think he just needs to stay his ass in jail. He obviously doesn't have it all the way together up there. This is Lisa Van Alen, and she is one of R. Kelly's victims. She's actually a survivor because her story is so heartbreaking. Now, I don't sugarcoat anything. And guys, listen to me carefully when I say this. I'm not victim blaming, but when it came to the topic of how the sex tape was made public, her side of the story didn't really add up. And I'm going to share why it didn't really make sense to me. First, she said how R. Kelly accidentally left the bag of tapes with her in the studio. She found the one with her, the kid, and R. Kelly doing a threesome. And then she came across the one with just the child and R. Kelly. And she took that tape. Now, here's where I had a problem. She said she took the tape, left it at the hotel, then left it with some friends. Why do any of that? Why not take it to the police station? You know what I mean? So what were your true intentions if you weren't going to go to the police? You know what I'm saying? And another thing is that Lifetime didn't acknowledge that she testified for immunity. In her case, it was either go to jail for the child porn and extortion charges or testify against R. Kelly. So when people testify for immunity, it means that their crimes were lesser than the perpetrator. So in other words, as long as they help the police, they will get off free. So that was her case. But I do want to give her the benefit of the doubt that maybe due to the legal reason, because she did testify in court because of this whole ordeal, that's probably why she couldn't go into full detail of what really happened, how the tape was exposed to the public. I wanted to add that Lisa has been doing a lot of interviews lately. Now, there's nothing wrong with speaking your truth, but delivery is always important. And she came on the Breakfast Club and she gave a different story, and they kind of contradict everything she said on the documentary. So I'm just saying Lisa needs to be very concise and watch what she says in these interviews. And that's all I have to say about her. So the identity of the 14-year-old victim that was in the sex tape has come out. Her name is Rashonda Landfair. And honestly, my heart breaks for her. So she was in a 90s R&B group called For the Cause with her cousins. They were more popular overseas in Germany. So I looked up their music on YouTube, and I can't lie, it was really eerie after seeing how small that little girl was. The fact that R. Kelly went after the most smallest, most defenseless little girl and took her innocence is just so devastating. So what pissed me off about the situation is how her parents really did not fight for justice for her. Instead of pressing charges on R. Kelly, they took the hush money that he gave them, he paid them off, and even her father even went back to playing the guitar for him. So even though the aunt and her basketball coach and teammate confirmed it was her on the tape, her parents denied it. And it's really heartbreaking how her parents did not fight for justice for her. So the sad part is because her parents were greedy, this is all because of greed and the materialistic things that don't even matter. Her parents took the money and didn't fight for justice. They failed her. She has to deal with the humiliation. She has to deal with, like, when she applies for jobs, them finding all this information about her, and that tape still floats around on the internet today. When she meets new people and they recognize who she is, it's just degrading for her. It's humiliating. And she can't even show her face out in public. It's just such a sad situation. My heart just goes out to her. Another thing I wanted to mention was how this situation wasn't taken seriously until Lifetime created this documentary. Like, where's this energy back in 2002? You had comedians even making fun of it, like David Chappelle and Boondocks, just to name a few.
There's a portal party, and my pee got kicked.
You think R. Kelly is innocent?
If I started peeing on you right now, would you A, smile and ask for more, or B, move the hell out the way?
I just wanted to say, wherever Rashonda is today, I just hope she's doing well these days and that she has been able to move past this situation and be strong. And it's just a heartbreaking situation. The situation is just sad because this is all due to greed. Her parents being greedy, just going after the materialistic things in the world that don't matter. And it just goes to show what great lengths people are willing to go through at the expense of someone else's suffering just to live the lavish lifestyle. It's just sick. So I wanted to talk about the Aaliyah situation pertaining to the marriage because the way it was handled is similar to the 14-year-old victim situation. And I noticed a reoccurring pattern with R. Kelly is you either get justice from him or you get paid off. And both families, Aaliyah's parents and the girl's parents, were paid off, and that's something a lot of people didn't know. So they tried to get us warmed up with that horrible ass Aaliyah biopic movie that they did a couple years ago, produced by Wendy Williams. I hope they do Baby Girl justice and come out with a new one with people that actually knew her, like Missy Elliott, people that were close to her. For instance, like Missy Elliott, Timberland, and childhood friends, classmates, you know? Like, put some respect on Aaliyah's name. Honestly, that movie was trash, and it didn't even depict Aaliyah in the best light. They focused too much on that R. Kelly situation and the marriage. She was more than just that girl that was married to him. There was so much more to her. I hope they do come out with a better movie. So, Aaliyah's mom wrote a public statement before the movie aired. She tried to stop it, and she basically denied everything that happened and called the backup singer that caught R. Kelly doing the nasty with Aaliyah a liar. And honestly, her mom has some nerve. Denying what happened doesn't help the situation. I'm an Aaliyah fan, but y'all, I'm not gonna sit up here and sugarcoat and be delusional and pretend that this situation never happened and act like Aaliyah wasn't human, like she never made mistakes like the rest of us. And act like she wasn't taken advantage of when she was a child. I feel like her mom needs to be honest with herself. I understand that she still mourns over her daughter's loss, but trying to say that the documentary disrespects Aaliyah's legacy is bogus. This actually shines a light on her as a parent. The mirror is put in front of her. Now people are side-eyeing her like, yo, where were you when your then 15-year-old daughter got married? You claim that you were there every step of the way, but where were your roach antennas, Miss Diane? Also, her denying what's in black and white, what's in the public, doesn't help the situation. In fact, it actually protects R. Kelly, and because people kept denying what he was doing, this is why he's been able to get away with this stuff for over 20 years. For years, he's been able to get away with this stuff. This incident with Aaliyah is concrete proof that he had a problem, and it's just annoying that people keep trying to downplay it and deny it. Like, for what? Like, the man has a problem and he needs to be brought to justice. So here are my final thoughts. Another thing I didn't like was how R. Kelly's assistant knew what was going on and he helped forge documents for the marriage, and he could see the fear in Aaliyah's eyes and that she was scared, yet went through with the whole process because his pockets were lined. And what I got from this situation was, I feel like as a whole, like all the kids that were involved, their parents knew what was up, because Aaliyah's parents were paid off. They didn't press charges. R. Kelly just paid them off. Just like the girl on the sex tape, her parents were paid off. And that is what led me to believe the parents pimped their kids out just for the lavish lifestyle, just pure greed. And it's honestly sickening. Lifetime, I think they did an awesome job with this documentary. It really sheds light on like neglectful parents, and also how when it comes to pedophilia in the black community, I hate to say it, it's always something that's swept under the rug and it has to be addressed. My people often have that mentality, oh, if it ain't my child, oh, I'm just minding my business. No, like if you see something wrong, speak up and do something about it. And that's all I have to say.